Hello everyone. In today's video, I will be discussing the topic of embedding documents. By the end of this video, you will understand what embedding is and how to apply it to your documents. Embedding involves converting text into a dense vector. For example, if you have 3 documents with text inside them, the embedding operation will convert that text into a vector of numbers. There are various methods to achieve this conversion, one of which is utilizing deep learning models. Why choose deep learning models? The answer is that these type of models are effective because they maintain the meaning of the text and the relationships between words. You can use embedding to create recommendation systems or retrieval-augmented generation. When it comes to using deep learning models, you have 2 options: closed models or open source models. Closed models are paid and operate in the cloud, meaning that the computations are not performed on your hardware. They are performed on a PC in the cloud. In contrast, open source models are free to use and accessible on Hugging Face. But if you decide to use open source models, you need to have a decent hardware, preferably a GPU, because the computations are going to be performed on your hardware. Consider the embedding size when selecting a model from Hugging Face. This parameter represents the size of the dense vector. Generally, larger sizes produce better results, with common dimensions including 384, 768, and 1024. In the image, I have included a list of models available on Hugging Face. If we click on the first model, we can see that this model converts sentences and paragraphs to a 384-dimensional dense vector. Another important parameter to consider when choosing a model is the input size, which refers to the amount of input text the model can process. If the text exceeds the model capacity, it will be truncated. Typical values for input text include 256 and 512 tokens. Again, when examining the same model, we see that here it says that by default, input text longer than 256 word pieces is truncated. So make sure to read the model card to be able to find the input size and the vector dimension. It's essential to pay attention to the language of the text, as some models are tailored for specific languages while others are multilingual. On Hugging Face, you can filter models by languages. Here in this example, I have filtered models that can convert text in English or French or even Chinese. So please make sure to select the languages here, or even read the model card to learn more about the training dataset that they use. Lastly, I want to highlight this Hugging Face space that benchmarks embedding models. It's a valuable resource that allows you to select models based on their sizes. Here it says model size in million parameters. Here you can filter by the size. So here I am looking at models that are smaller than 500 million parameters. Here you can see that you can choose just open source models, or you can also include proprietary ones. And here we have multiple benchmarks, and here you can specify even the language. So if you want to check out this Hugging Face space, just click on this hyperlink. Now let's go to VS Code to see how to use one model from Hugging Face to embed the text. Open notebook number 16. One more time, I want to mention that you can find these notebooks in my GitHub repository. Just go to this video description. You'll find a link that will take you to GitHub, and feel free to download or clone the repository. Here you can see that this time I am not pointing you to the documentation, but to a tutorial that Elasticsearch created for us. And here it shows you how to use embeddings. So click on this link to read that tutorial. First of all, we need to connect to Elasticsearch. After that, here I will prepare the index. We have seen this in the previous video. To use the dense vector, you need to create the mapping manually. And in this field, we will store the embedding. So just create this index. Here, I will be using this model. Here I said, you can see that it is very popular. It has 50 million downloads in 1 month. People are using this model because it is very small, it is fast, and it provides a vector with 384 values. But if you want to go for bigger models, you can do that. I have showed you the Hugging Face space that will show you all the models that exist on Hugging Face. To be able to download this model, we use the Sentence Transformers library. So if you don't have it, please just run pip install Sentence Transformer and you will be able to download the model. This is the command that you need to run if you don't have Sentence Transformers installed on your PC. Now, because I have downloaded this model, this will be fast. But if you are doing this for the first time, it might take some time to download the model, but later it will be cached and it will find it on your PC and it will load it quickly. And here we are going to use PyTorch to verify if we have CUDA or a CPU. If you have a GPU, we will be using it. If you don't have a GPU, it will fall to use a CPU. Using a GPU will make the process of encoding data very fast. But because we are using just 3 documents, that will not cause any problem. Even if you use a CPU, it will be perfectly fine. And here we are taking the model and using either the CPU or the GPU. And now we are loading the documents. So we are going to use this dummy data just to show you how this works, but in a later video we'll do a real example. The Sentence Transformers library makes it very easy to use any model from Hugging Face to convert or to embed the text. You just use the encode method and you provide it with the string and it will return you the dense vector. So I have this method, and here I am going to use the bulk API to make all these operations in one API call. What I want to do, I want to index the documents. So the operation that I will be using is index, and I'm going to insert those documents into this myIndex index. And here, because the index method needs the document, I am specifying that after this call. And here, document, I am taking basically those 3 fields and I am extracting it with this notation, and I am adding on top of that the embedding. Okay, so let's run this cell. As you can see, that was very fast, and here it says created. Great. So this means that we were able to insert those 3 fields that we had initially, and on top of that we were able to add another field that contains the dense vector. Now let's verify. Here I'm using query to get me all the documents that are inside my index, and as you can see, here we have the first document. It contains an ID and it contains the created on field, and here is the embedding. Here I have the text and the title. Let's make sure that the embedding, or that this field, is a dense vector with a dimension equal to 384. To do that, we are just going to print the mapping. So here it says, so this is the embedding field. Sure enough, the dimension is equal to 384 and the type is set to dense vector. So this is how you use a deep learning model to convert text into a dense vector. We arrived at the end of this video. I hope that it was helpful and informative. Please, before leaving, leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you like. See you next time.